The sun was high over Surulere, and the heat wrapped the streets like a blanket. Hawkers shouted, buses honked, and the smell of suya and fried akara floated in the air. Children played football in the narrow street while their mothers yelled warnings from open windows. But on the third floor of a worn-out apartment building at 14 Areti Crescent, the heat wasn't just in the weather. It was boiling inside flat 3C. Ngozi paced the living room, her voice sharp and angry. "I am tired, Colonel. Tired of pretending like everything is fine. You think because you pay the rent, you own me." Colonel was seated on the worn leather sofa, his shirt unbuttoned halfway, sweat on his forehead. "Don't start this again, Ngozi. Every time something small happens, you blow it out of proportion." "Small," she snapped, arms folded. "You come home late every day. You don't talk to me anymore. You're always on your phone, laughing at texts. Who is Cynthia, Colonel?" Colonel stood up slowly, his tall frame towering over her. "Don't start accusing me. You know I'm working late most nights. And Cynthia is just my secretary." Ngozi moved closer, her voice rising. "Why does your secretary send you heart emojis at midnight? Why does your shirt smell like women's perfume?" From the corner of the room, little Daniel watched them. 5 years old, small for his age, his eyes were round with confusion. He held his teddy bear tightly, his lips trembling. "Mummy! Daddy!" But neither of them heard him. Their anger had grown too loud. "You're becoming paranoid," Colonel shouted. "Every woman I talk to, you think I'm sleeping with her. And every day you shut me out, Colonel. I'm your wife, not your slave." In a fit of anger, Ngozi shoved him. Colonel stumbled, bumping against the open window. The curtains fluttered in the hot afternoon air. Daniel got up and walked toward them. "Mummy, stop shouting." That's when it happened. Colonel tried to push past Ngozi. She shoved back harder, screaming, "You disgust me!" Their arms flailed. One of them, no one could remember who, turned quickly, and their elbow struck Daniel by accident. The child stumbled backward. His small body teetered on the edge of the open window. "Daniel!" they both screamed. But it was too late. He fell. Down 3 floors. Time froze. Ngozi screamed, her voice piercing the afternoon air. Neighbors rushed out of their flats. Some screamed, others gasped, hands over their mouths. Down below, Daniel's body landed on the zinc roof of the building's shed. Ngozi dashed down the stairs barefoot, her wrapper nearly falling off. Her legs trembled as she ran. Colonel followed close behind, breathing heavily, his face pale. "Jesus! Jesus!" someone shouted. "Call ambulance!" cried another. Baba Ease, the landlord, came running, his wrapper tied tight around his waist. "God have mercy! What happened?" "He fell," Ngozi sobbed, falling to her knees. "My son!" Colonel climbed up the shed carefully, his hands shaking. He reached for Daniel's body and pulled him gently into his arms. Daniel was unconscious. Blood trickled from his forehead. One arm bent the wrong way. Colonel's voice cracked. "His breathing. But he's not waking up." Ngozi screamed again, hitting the ground with her fists. "This is my fault. God, forgive me." A neighbor ran up. "Ambulance is coming. They're almost here." Within minutes, sirens wailed through the street. Red and white lights reflected off windows as the ambulance arrived. 2 paramedics jumped out. They checked Daniel quickly, strapped him to a stretcher, and carried him into the van. "We're taking him to LUTH now," one said. Colonel and Ngozi climbed in. No one spoke. The only sound was the beeping of the monitor attached to Daniel's small body. As the ambulance sped off, Colonel held Ngozi's hand. "We almost killed our son," she whispered through tears. "I know," Colonel replied. "I know." The white hospital walls were cold and quiet. Ngozi sat beside Daniel's bed, her eyes red and swollen. Colonel stood by the window, staring into nothing. Machines beeped steadily. Daniel hadn't woken up. Doctors came and went. "He has a mild concussion," one explained. "And a broken arm. But he's stable. It's just a matter of time." Ngozi didn't sleep for 2 nights. She prayed, cried, and whispered into Daniel's ear. "Wake up, baby. Mummy's sorry. I'll never fight in front of you again. I'll protect you. Please forgive me." On the 3rd morning, as the sun lit up the ward, Daniel stirred. His fingers moved. "Ngozi." Cunnel shouted. He moved. The nurses rushed in. Daniel blinked slowly, his lips moving. Mummy! Ngozi burst into tears. She hugged him gently, careful not to hurt his arm. I'm here, baby. Mummy's here. Cunnel came closer, putting his hand on Daniel's head. Daddy's here too. We're so sorry. The atmosphere in Flat 3C had changed. The windows were locked now. The living room was quiet. No shouting. No insults. Daniel sat on the couch, his arm in a cast. He played with his teddy bear and watched cartoons, but he didn't smile as much. Cunnel and Ngozi sat together, watching him. I never thought things would get this bad, Cunnel said. Ngozi nodded. We forgot how to love each other. And our son almost paid the price. I want us to go for counseling, Cunnel said. We need help. Ngozi looked at him, eyes soft. Yes, we do. They both stood up and walked to Daniel. Mummy and Daddy are going to make things better, Ngozi said. We promise. Daniel looked at them and gave a small nod. Don't fight again, okay? We won't, Cunnel said. 2 months later, church service. The church was filled with music and praise. Pastor Jude called for testimonies. Cunnel walked forward with Ngozi and Daniel beside him. I want to thank God for saving my son's life, Cunnel said, voice shaky. We made mistakes. Big ones. But God gave us another chance. People clapped. Some cried. Others looked at Daniel and smiled. After the service, a couple approached them. We've been fighting too, the woman said. Your story touched us. We want help too. And that's how it started. Cunnel and Ngozi didn't just save their marriage. They began helping others too. Moral of the story. Anger is like fire. If left uncontrolled, it burns everything in its path. Words hurt, but silence after tragedy hurts even more. Families must learn to talk, forgive, and seek help. Children see more than we think. They hear more than we say. And sometimes, they pay for the mistakes they didn't cause. Let love be louder than pride. Let peace be stronger than ego. Because one moment of anger can change everything, forever. Thank you for watching. Tell us your opinion in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel Chukwudi Alalar Studio at Chukwudi Alalar.